Boy. Mesdames et messieurs. Aquaba. Let me take you on a journey, man. From Accra to Oktap. We're gonna look back at this and be shocked.
Welcome everyone, this is Michelle Anderson. Thank you so much for my podcast show. This is where we're going to be focusing on my MOLIAE Love Groove. This is part 2. What is MOLIAE Love Groove? That's basically for my YouTube channel where I came up with this idea just to play music. This be fun on the weekend or a particular night. And you just listen to some really chill music that you're listening to your boo, right? The person that you love. And then I decided, you know what? I should just make a skit. So I love writing, and I came up with that. My first skit, I just wrote it on the Facebook page, where you just, casually how it's none of that crazy stuff. It's just the simple process of falling in love and respecting one another and going through that experience. And so with that, that's where I came up with MOLIAE Love. So today, we're going to do that MOLIAE Love Groove. This is part 2. And just to get in a couple of things here, housekeeping, is that do check out my brand, MOLIAE at MOLIAE.com and MOLIAE Beauty for essential oils. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this, where we're talking about the MOLIAE Groove. Love Grooves is part 2, and we're going to highlight. And the last episode that I did was on Atlantis part 10. Do check that out. That's where the two twins are getting into the mode back again and focusing on ruling, helping Mattoon, the older brother, rule his territory, his kingdom. In this episode, we're going to focus on something different, something that I love, where we have the characters. The main characters is going to be Cynthia and the male love interest. It's an old college crush there, and they met up in the same airport in Atlanta. Fast forward, and now they was going overseas. So his name is Jamal, and we're going to get into that, all right? So let's go ahead and focus on this new one, and let's get started. And let's begin. For my season 8 for this week of my podcast show, Michelle Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond, entitled MOLIAE Groove Part 2. Opening scene. Dinner was presented in front of Cynthia as she sat at table. Cynthia peeked over her large bouquet of flowers that was delivered to her, and it was from a Jamal. That for some reason she couldn't stop smiling as she looked at the flowers, but knew she had to focus on what the others were saying at the table as they sat at the round adjoining table overlooking the Nile River. She decided to focus on her plate of food, but her mind and her heart danced to a new rhythm, more vibrant than the piano player nearby at the very luxurious restaurant in Egypt. To get everyone in a casual world mood, forward movement of course, she kept looking at her phone and wished she had the moments to call a Jamal. As soon as she got the flowers from the front desk, she pondered how did he knew which hotel she was at? That was the clever part that she loved about him, and she really appreciated his thoughtfulness and remembered their college days, how he always found the right steady spot without the dormitories of other people and the noise and the drama of the students that led her and him to pass all those exams and graduated. She couldn't help herself, and next thing she knows, she just burst out laughing, remembering all the way he was able to be the detective and find the perfect spot for them to study. And now fast forward to figure out where she was actually staying at which hotel. It was very impressive, she thought, as the others was talking and amongst themselves and enjoying the meal. But they did look up startled when she just burst out laughing at one moment before during their college days and started them. One of the males out of the 3 that was there, and the other 2 females, including Cynthia, it was making a total of 3 females and 2 males. One of the males, as it was 3 males total, and then there was 2 other ones, including Cynthia making the 3rd female there. Everybody looked at Cynthia and they all knew what was on her mind, the person who sent her those flowers. So next thing we know, one of the males at their table that they was having dinner with said, "Oh my goodness, what beautiful flowers. Who is it for?" As you over there laughing. What? Who ever sent that and not really want you to share? Let us know. And everybody thought and laughed and smiled. And Cynthia was kind of like, no, don't pay me any mind. And just preventing herself to reveal of the moment of enjoying the thought that Jadhe went through all of that problem, all of that way to kind of surprise her. So being the co-lead of this meeting, the male at the table, one of her colleagues, told everyone, well, let's take a break from discussing business and just enjoy a meal. Or if you have to step away, he kind of looked at Cynthia, you can go ahead and do that and, we'll just touch back up. He then eyed Cynthia and smiled. And when he then got up with his smartphone to call his wife, the others did as well as he took out their iPad or their phone to dial out. Cynthia breathed a relief and reached for her cell phone, her smartphone, and got up to walk to the open bar decor. It was surrounded by mahogany wood shining in the lights above. As you can see, the sun goes through the four-lift windows that's opening to, you can see the Nile River. And 3 rings ajar, Jadhe picked up, and she couldn't help smiling. She was about to speak when he spoke first. Let me guess. It was not your favorite colors of flowers. I did try to remember. She just burst out laughing. They were perfect. How did you remember? How did you figure out which hotel I was in? Jadhe, he couldn't help but laugh as well, getting it right on out and did a high five. Yes, I did it. She said, what did you say? And he just kind of, he just laughs. That the business and professionals around him at the meeting that he was having at the same time she were as well, of the future plans of their business objective, looked up and was like, what did you say? And they just laughed and laughed for a few more moments. He finally spoke in the phone, turning his back to people that he was having dinner with, part of his team, and focused, where he was looking out the window and said, for you, persistence is worth it. For your smile. She chuckled and blushed as the bartender was approaching, and Cynthia motioned to the bartender to go ahead and pour her a glass of champagne. In her mind, as she thought these moments were getting good on taking a new chance on something that could be a new groove. Yes, she thought to herself, as the bartender delivered so fast what she pointed to at the bottle of champagne and poured her a glass that matched, as she then took a sip of the finest that was in Egypt. She then sat in the phone and she kind of relaxed as she sat at the stool and kind of trailed the little lines in the mahogany wood at the bar table there. And she said, I have to make it up to you. They are huge, these flowers, and people are all looking and staring and saying, ooh, wow. Jadhe was just laughing and grinning on the other side of that phone call. And he interceded, getting very excited at this opportunity to be bold, to be free, to be able to express what he just couldn't do in college. And he just said, I know how. Let me fly you to Dubai for a day, a few hours. He quickly pulled out his schedule, and then she spoke before he could really confirm he was free on a particular day. Cynthia said, I accept. End scene.